G'day guys and gal, most of us have probably heard of Rylanor the Unyielding, the Ancient of Rights, the dreadnought who waited for 1,000,000 nights in solitude to nuke his traitorous father's face. But did you know there's more to Rylanor's lore than just that one defining moment? Rylanor was a beast even before that. After all, he lived as a legendary space marine before being interred in a dreadnought, fighting by the Emperor's side in life and fighting against the traitors in death. Overall, an absolute beast that deserves attention beyond just putting Fulgrim in his place. Before we get started, I'm very excited to announce the latest and greatest major mini, the Demon Lord Empire Ender, a large chaotic demon. The Empire Ender is all claws, blades, and malice, able to shape its form into the most deadly creature possible. It was created by mankind's first murder. The Empire Ender is inspired by Diablo, as well as that other thing that those who have read Master of Mankind or seen this video would also recognize. Coming with a custom base that is a corrupted mechanical space elf base. With Ra already part of the range, it's very thematic for the Empire Ender to also join. Get both and you can make them square the fuck up. Alongside the new Empire Ender, the major mini range also features numerous other models, like the Space Elf Avenger Lord, the Son of Iron, the King Orc, the Shark Daddy, the Lord of the Night, the Space Spartan, and many, many more. Definitely worth a check out, especially since worldwide shipping is only $10 or free if you spend over $70. Today we'll go over the highlights of Rylanor to really show just how much of a beast this dude actually was. Also, once again, shout out to my artist Alex for the Rylanor commission. This man has been on a roll with the past 3 videos all having a custom thumbnail thanks to him. As always, full res version will be free on my Patreon. Now let's get into it. Rylanor was a day one Astartes, born on Terra and chosen to be amongst the first of the Emperor's children. He was handpicked from the noble houses of Europa, being one of the few Astartes who actually fought side by side with the Emperor himself. Rylanor was there when the Emperor was ambushed and wounded on Proxima by Terras, who used Dark Age of Technology weapons, many Emperor's children giving up their lives to allow the Emperor to fight free of the ambush and recover. Rylanor would survive this and alongside his legion be granted the exclusive use of the Palatine Inquilla for the Emperor's children, with Rylanor himself being the one to carry the Aquila standard into battle. He was as Emperor's children as they could get, honorable, brave, unbreakable, and always striving to improve himself. He would go on to survive the Emperor's children gene seed crisis, where Trazin, that sneaky fuck, stole a huge chunk of Emperor's children gene seed whilst the rest was corrupted by a xenovirus. Emperor's children who received infected gene seed were culled, whilst no new Astartes of the 3rd Legion could be made. Rylanor was there for all of this and he took it in his stride. When the Emperor's children finally found Fulgrim, Fulgrim immediately recognized the Gigacha that was Rylanor, having him as his personal standard bearer and member of his inner circle. However, Rylanor would soon find himself shredded by Eldar shurikens and on the brink of death. He held on long enough to be put into a contempted dreadnought, as even in death, he still served. Rylanor would then be chosen as the Ancient of Rights, the keeper of the Emperor's children's soul. He would watch over the recruitment and training of the Legion to ensure they maintained purity of purpose. For the most part, his teachings did a great job. Sol Tarvitz was awesome, with most other Emperor's children characters being honourable and great to read about. Even Lucius was alright prior to the heresy, cocky but in a fun way. After all, he was best friends with Sol Tarvitz for a reason. The point I'm making is that it wasn't Rylanor's failings that allowed the Emperor's children to fall to chaos. It was the Legion's love of Fulgrim and the heresy that allowed them to fall into depravity. You gotta remember that Rylanor was a big ass dreadnought. He couldn't just walk into Space Marine lodgings and have D&Ms with his Legion and make sure all of them got enough therapy. It was easy to hide the rot of the Legion from him. Another cool thing about Rylanor was that the fact he could always tell when someone was lying. However, since he spent most of his time on board the Andronius, not the Emperor's Children flagship, and even then was mostly confined to the Hall of Rights, there wasn't much opportunity for him to catch people in a lie. When Fulgrim decided that walking into a temple full of snake people having a drug-fueled orgy whilst their planet was being destroyed was a cool thing to do, and then he decided to pick up the extremely suspicious phallic sword that seemed to be the source of the orgy, shit started to go bad for the Legion. It ended in Fulgrim becoming a traitor and helping to plan the Isstvan dropside atrocity. The traitor Primarchs had to basically survey their Legion to see who was too loyal to the Emperor, hence would need to get murdered. However, Rylanor was actually assigned to remain on board the Andronius, hence was not marked for execution. It's never actually stated why. It seems kinda stupid to the reader due to how loyal Rylanor was, but maybe since he was one of Fulgrim's chosen and the soul of the Legion, Fulgrim thought he would join up with him. Fulgrim also liked Rylanor a lot, so perhaps wanted to keep him in isolation in the Hall of Rights and then try to convince him to become a traitor after the atrocity. If he refused, then they they could simply just kill him or deactivate him. However, Saul Tarvitz, that fucking legend, felt like something was off about the Isstvan campaign. The most wanky, arrogant Emperor's children were not partaking in the final assault, which had never happened before, so he wanted to stay on board the ship and investigate. He went to Rylanor and he asked the dreadnought to go down to the surface and take his place as captain. Saul lied about his motives, or at least didn't speak the whole truth. Rylanor knew Saul wasn't being totally honest about why he wanted to stay on board. However, Rylanor also knew that Saul was a good, honorable man and his motives were pure. Rylanor had also noticed the decline of his legion's soul, thus could tell that Saul was trying to do something about it. On the surface of Isstvan, Rylanor was a war machine, tearing through the defenders like a purple and gold death god. When the virus bombs dropped, Rylanor looked up to the sky as they fell. Disgust and rage fueled him as he watched millions die horrific deaths as the Light Eater virus melted them into sludge. His contempted dreadnought chassis prevented the Life Eater from entering him, so he was pretty much the only living thing that was able to properly witness the true devastation firsthand, since most others were in bunkers or had their eyes melt as the Life Eater tore them a new asshole. However, Saul Tarvitz arriving on the surface and warning his brothers of the betrayal meant that most loyalists actually survived, kicking off a grueling war between the surviving loyalists and the overwhelming traitor numbers. Rylanor acted as an anchor during this war, his tenacity and firepower breaking traitor charges as he tore them to shreds. Time and time again, the traitors thought Rylanor had finally been beaten, only for him to pop up and be like, "Surprise, fuckheads!" and blast their asses with his assault cannon or pulp their insides with his power claw. However, Saul Tarvitz didn't want to just fight and die. He was willing to do that, but he also wanted to achieve some kind of victory. That potential victory came in the form of a hidden bunker in the heart of their defenses. The bunker had its own virus bomb as well as ships. They could theoretically take these ships and fly the virus bomb into the enemy. Or maybe they could bait the enemy Primarchs onto the surface to finish them off and then detonate their virus bomb, killing the enemy Primarchs and flying away. Rylanor was tasked with guarding this bunker as it was the most important thing the Loyalists still had. However, with Lucius betraying the Loyalists, which cracked their defenses, combined with the traitors bringing up their Titans, plus the Loyalist Death Guard finally falling to Mortarion, they had run out of time. As the last of the Loyalists were being blasted, Rylanor ran to the bunker. The explosions caused a lot of the bunker to collapse, which destroyed all the ships that could have been used to escape. To make matters worse, a kill squad of Noise Marines were sent to go track down Rylanor and finish him off, as the traitors knew he had survived the final battle. Rylanor and the Noise Marines fought. He tore them to shreds as they come blasted him with their shitty music. Rylanor is damaged but remains unbroken, as the torn up remains of the Noise Marines surround him. However, with his legs busted and the escape ships gone, Rylanor is trapped. But he wasn't fucking done. Rylanor decides that despite having a power claw and assault cannon for arms, he would use the Noise Marine weapons to create a signal, whilst he also fixed up and armed the virus bomb. His goal was to lure Fulgrim to him with the Noise Marine weapon and then blow up his balls. It took a fucking while, like thousands of years of isolation, as Rylanor had to do hectic, delicate engineering with a fucking dreadnought power claw. Rylanor had lost most of his sanity in this process, but he never lost his will. No matter what, he would kill Fulgrim. At last, the signal was ready and the virus bomb armed. He transmitted a simple message: "The Ancient awaits." Magnus the Red picked up on this signal and sent a small team of Thousand Sons to investigate, whilst Fulgrim also heard it. The Thousand Sons arrive, confused as to what has happened to the dead world as well as the signal. They find Rylanor's body inactive. Jokes, Rylanor lunges at them, grabbing one Thousand Son and pointing his cannon at the other. That's right, a damaged multi-millennia-year-old dreadnought was able to ambush an elite squad of Thousand Son sorcerers. Who the fuck does that? Rylanor doesn't know if the Thousand Sons are traitors or not, as he's been trapped here and the Thousand Sons did not take part in the Isstvan atrocity. The two parties engage in a bit of a standoff. The Thousand Sons leader, Vestario, tries to lie to Rylanor to get him to calm down, which was a bad move. As we have said, Rylanor can tell if you lie. However, Fulgrim then appears in his rape snake demon form. Fulgrim is ready to have a full villain monologue, but Rylanor is just like, "Shut the fuck up and die," before instantly attempting to detonate the virus bomb. However, the Thousand Sons are able to put a mini force field around the bomb to contain the detonation. Rylanor is like, "Okay, fine," and immediately tries to open fire on Fulgrim. However, no amount of balls and girth will make a damaged dreadnought faster than a demon prince of Slaanesh. Hence, Fulgrim is able to crush the assault cannon. Okay, fine, Rylanor says again and throws hands, attempting to punch Fulgrim with the power claw, but once again the slut stops the attack by cutting the arm off with his sword. Fulgrim fully intends on violating Rylanor, turning him into a Slaneshi abomination against his will. Rylanor remains defiant, telling him he's a fucking bitch and that Rylanor will always be a proud loyal son of the Emperor, beloved by all. However, Rylanor is also horrified. He is now defenseless and his plan has failed. Fulgrim slides his hands into the dreadnought chassis and pulls Rylanor's body out, as Rylanor's defiance radiates off him. It's here that one of the best moments in all of 40k occurs. The Thousand Sons, traitor marines, sense Rylanor's pride, honor, loyalty, and will, the dedication that had the dreadnought sit here by itself for thousands of years, arming the virus bomb and creating the lure. The Thousand Sons feel nothing but pride to be in Rylanor's presence. In contrast, they also feel Fulgrim's malice, sadism, and arrogance. So despite Fulgrim being their ally, they see nothing worthy in him. The Thousand Sons make a choice. Vestaria says, "Fulgrim, Rylanor deserves better than you. He deserves better than all of us." Vestario shoots his fellow Thousand Son in the head, the one that was holding back the virus bomb. With his death, the bomb detonates, instantly killing Rylanor, the Thousand Sons, and shredding Fulgrim down to his core. Rylanor was so honorable that he made traitors reflect on their lives, realize their folly, and happily embrace death just to spite Fulgrim. Fulgrim would survive. He was a demon prince that could only really be banished via psychic means. However, his pride was forever wounded. He had lost. Rylanor wasn't his own allies told him to eat shit, and he was humiliated. Rylanor's final act of defiance against Fulgrim was a big reason as to why Fulgrim has been sidelined in the setting for a long time. After all, would Fulgrim rather partake in one non-stop orgy within the Eye of Terror or go out into real space and get humiliated? If Rylanor had been his to torment, it would have given him the confidence to invade Imperial worlds and doom billions to horrific deaths. Now you can see why Rylanor is an absolute beast. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up the Demon Lord Empire Ender or any other major mini. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more glorious content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.